Now it's time, Sunda. You ready for This Week in Anti-Semitism?
Can't wait.
All right, because as you all know, the anti-Semites, they're watching us.
So we're watching them. That's right.
All right, and joining us for this week's This Week in Anti-Semitism, from the law firm of Michelman and Robinson, please welcome Mark Zafrin. All right. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Thank you, thank you.
How's it going?
Not bad.
Not bad?
Not bad.
All right, are you ready for some anti-Semitism? Lots of anti-Semitism going on around the world today. And here's where we're going to start. We're going to start with your 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter.
Yep, chief anti-Semite of the world.
He's what?
Oh
the chief?
God. Mark.
Well, perhaps he is the chief. Well, here's what's going on. There's a historic class action suit. You are a lawyer, so of course you know what's going on about the class action suit with Jimmy Carter? Basically, it was filed against him and Simon & Schuster for his book, Palestine, Peace, Not Apartheid. Are you familiar with the book?
Yes, I am.
And they're saying that it contained numerous false and knowingly misleading statements intended to promote the author's agenda of anti-Israel propaganda. And they're saying that the lawsuit will expose all the falsehoods and misrepresentations, and that it will prove that Carter hates Israel.
It's a true statement.
True statement.
Carter hates Israel.
Why do you say that?
Carter hates Israel because they didn't do what he wanted them to do. The biggest problem of Carter is that when he was negotiating between the Palestinians and Israel, Israel didn't just roll over and do what Jimmy Carter thought they should do. Jimmy Carter's concept is that all Israelis have to withdraw all the way to their borders, play nice, and let the Palestinians take them over in a democratic system. So his concept is have free elections, have the Jews outvoted, and then everybody will thank Jimmy Carter as the savior of the world.
And you think he's the chief anti-Semite?
But there's no question of Jimmy Carter.
Over Mel Gibson.
Jimmy Carter makes Mel Gibson look like a piker. Mel Gibson is... Here's the problem between Jimmy and Mel.
Please.
Mel does it out of anger.
Okay.
Mel does it after drinking. Jimmy does it after calm, reflective thought, when he sits there and reads his books and figures it out and edits his anti-Semitic remarks. Mel's are at least spontaneous.
Okay, now, so you're a lawyer in New York and in L.A., and I want to know, do they have the case? Because the complaint is basically that the book, it violates New York consumer protection laws, specifically New York General Business Law Section, whatever, 3. We're not going to get into the law right here, but it's unlawful to engage in deceptive acts in the course of conducting business. That's essentially.
Who brought the lawsuit?
Who brought the lawsuit? Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you who brought the lawsuit.
The sister-in-law.
It's Unterberg et al. Versus Jimmy Carter. Okay, so the lawsuit is.
Can I see it? Thank you.
Go ahead. Who brought
Why
the
don't you just take it over?
But lawyers like to read, you know.
So basically, I don't know if they have a case. It's a class action lawsuit, deceptions and fraudulent misrepresentations in his book attacking Israel.
Well, what it is, it's a way to get into court. They want to have their voice heard. There's no question that Jimmy Carter's book is anti-Semitic.
All right, there you go. You're 39th President of the United States, you know.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Need we forget that Jimmy Carter is also responsible for the Ayatollah Khomeini? So let's not forget one of his great foreign policy coups, letting the Ayatollah leave, letting the Ayatollah come in. Very similar to what's going on in Egypt right now.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's move on to Australia, shall we?
Shall we?
Here we go. This is Australia. This is white supremacist Darryl Potts. You've heard of him?
No, but does he live near Mel Gibson's father?
I don't know where he lives, but so this is what's going on in Australia. Australia is a strange place, right? So
That's where Mel Gibson's father lives.
That's right. What's his name? Homer?
Moved there from New Jersey.
Hey, leave Jersey out of this.
He thought there were too many Jews.
Well, that's what Mel Gibson's dad said about when he was denying the Holocaust. He said that the Jews...
There were too many Jews, therefore they couldn't have killed that many.
Well, he said they moved to Brooklyn.
Well,
that's what he said.
Pretty much.
And he moved to Australia.
So this man is a white supremacist. He's in Australia, and this is another kind of legal thing. A psychiatrist said he was a risk to public safety, but in Australia they have granted him the right to have a handgun.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if this kind of stuff happens in Australia all the time, but you know, he's been arrested for domestic violence, and in addition to that, he doesn't believe that the Holocaust happened, and he's also on the record as saying that he believes Jews are plotting to dilute races by encouraging mixed-race children, and that he also believes that Jewish spies posing as Israeli art peddlers have been visiting his house because he's a person of interest.
When I was a very young lawyer, I worked in federal court in Southern District. We had a guy like this. He used to wear tinfoil on his head.
Really?
He used to think that there were beaming messages to him. him, and all the judges were against him. Finally, all the judges in the courthouse had to come up with and get a court order against him, not to come in with it, not to file any more suits without their permission. But this guy should move to Germany.
Well, you know,
in Germany, it's now against the law to deny the Holocaust.
It is against the law, but you know, we do this every week, and we don't get too many Australia stories. So I thought this was interesting that he's an outspoken lunatic, and in America he wouldn't get a gun, right?
And why is it a white supremacist named Daryl?
I'm not. Good question.
It is a good question.
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
Yeah, yeah, but
Right.
at the end of the day,
Next they'll have Keyshawn,
his ability to
Jerome.
have a gun may not necessarily have anything to do with his white supremacy, because they all have guns.
They all have guns, yeah.
They have a lot of guns.
It's one of the requirements to become a white supremacist.
You got to go up to Hayden Lake in Idaho. They got lots of guns.
All right. Let's move on now to Canada. This is just a strange story. I wanted someone to tell me what this means. This is the Caledon councillor. So he's an important elected official in the town of Caledon, which I don't know where that is exactly, but it's in Canada. And there was some sort of property issue going on, and he made the following statement at a council meeting. He said, "If I owned land, I wouldn't want the whole thing sterilized. We do that, and it's going to be hit by Jewish lightning." And I was wondering what Jewish lightning was. Here, do you want to?
It's when you have a candy store,
Yeah.
and you take a match and some gasoline,
Mark.
then collect on the insurance.
That's Jewish lightning. That sounds anti-Semitic to me.
Well, yeah. Let's say it was originally anti-Semitic, but it had a basis in truth during the Depression.
So basically, the situation here in this Canadian town is that there's a proposed heritage designation for a home, right?
Right.
But it's and he's basically saying that if we
it's a non-anti-Semitic comment made by an anti-Semite who peppers his commentary with anti-Semitic comments.
I see. So if I was to go out there and talk about Jewish lightning, which I don't even know what Jewish
they would think you were
lightning is,
burning down the general store.
That's what they would think.
Yeah, and
so this
collecting the
term has been
insurance.
around, Jewish lightning.
You've never heard of Jewish
You've never heard of Jewish
I never
lightning?
heard of Jewish lightning. So that's what it is.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's lots of terms like that have basis in some sort of racism.
Clue us in. That's why we're doing this segment.
Give us another one.
Another Jew 'em down.
Yeah, I know Jew 'em down.
Right, you know Jew 'em down, and there were comments about black people or Irish twins. Irish twins is not necessarily a non-anti-Irish comment. It means that the Irish breed a lot. They have kids one after the other, Irish twins.
Okay, so Jewish lightning is not an anti-Semitic statement.
Not overly anti-Semitic.
All right, so look, if you get hit by Jewish lightning, it's not anti-Semitism.
Well, it means that somebody threw gasoline on you and put a match to it.
All right.
It's not your word. That's really what it is. Oh, good. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Mark Zafrin, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back.